Chapter 10. Melody was beside herself. Calm down, Nick told her. You're jumping to conclusions. Think about it. Melody started ticking off the evidence on her fingers. Miss Hogan's not married. She lives here in Royal. She's someone my dad knows I really don't like. And she was whistling the same song he's been whistling every day for the past month. How do you explain that? A lot of people know that song, Nick said, trying to reassure his friend. And like I told you before, that thing I said about your dad was just a theory. He's a nice guy. Why would he ever want to go out with someone like Miss Hogan? You mean someone who has no sense of humor, who enjoys tricking her students, and has permanent lipstick stains on her front teeth? Basically, said Nick. Plus, I don't know whether you've ever noticed this, but her earlobes are freakishly large. Is this actually happening? Asked Melody. What if my dad and Miss Hogan get married? What if she and her freakishly large earlobes come to live with us in our house? I'll have to move to Siberia. I'm telling you, Bishop, you're jumping to conclusions, said Nick. He started to wheel his bike across the street. Where are you going? Asked Melody. I thought you wanted to snoop around. What's the point? We already know who Honey is. Nick continued across the street, but instead of going up the front walk in plain view, he went around to the side. Leaning his bike against the yellow wall, he sneaked over to one of the windows and peered in. After a minute, he gestured for Melody to come join him. Fine, she grumbled, but I'm not going inside. Melody leaned her bike against the wall next to Nick's and joined him at the window. I see Miss Hogan, whispered Nick, pressing his nose against the glass. She's talking to some tall lady with curly red hair. That must be BB, Melody told him, remembering Teeny's description of her macaroni hair. Noticing the window was open a crack, Nick slipped his fingers under the edge and slowly inched it up. He and Melody leaned closer. I was thrilled when I heard you were opening up a beauty salon, they heard Miss Hogan saying. Your timing couldn't be better. I'm glad to hear that, said BB, as she had led Miss Hogan over to one of the black and yellow striped styling chairs. So what are we doing today? Manicure? Pedicure? Actually, what I need is some advice, Miss Hogan said, about hair. I can't decide whether I should wear it up or down. Then, of course, there's the question of ornamentation. I was leaning towards mother of pearl combs, but now I'm worried it might be too much. This is boring, whispered Nick. Shh, Melody shushed him. The first thing I'll need to know is what kind of an occasion it is, said BB. I can't tell you that, said Miss Hogan. It's a secret. Can you at least tell me if it's black tie or casual, asked BB. Melody noticed Miss Hogan seemed flustered. I really don't know the details yet, she said. It's all rather sudden. We haven't even told our families. I suppose everyone will know about it soon enough anyways, so I might as well just tell you. I'm getting married. Melody felt like she had been punched in the stomach. If Miss Hogan was getting married, that meant knock, knock. Someone tapped Melody on the shoulder from behind. Startled, she spun around to find Teeny Nelson standing there in her tutu. Go away, Melody hissed, waving her away from the window. You're not the boss of me, said Teeny, folding her arms over her chest. Melody grabbed Teeny by the elastic waistband at the front of her tutu and dragged her over to where her neon pink bike was parked on the sidewalk. What are you doing here? Melody demanded. Did you find out about Henry and the love bug yet? Asked Teeny. That's none of your business, snapped Melody. It is so, said Teeny. You wouldn't even know about it if I hadn't told you. Nick came over and joined them. Are you okay, Bishop? He asked, putting his hand on Melody's arm. Your face is kind of red. Is he your boyfriend? Asked Teeny, pointing at Nick. No, Nick and Melody said at the same time. Do you have a suntan or are you always that color? Teeny asked Nick. Nick's mother was African American and his father was Chinese. What kind of a question is that? Snapped Melody. I'm just saying, grumbled Teeny. Does your mother know you're here? Teeny looked down at her pink ballet slippers, which were streaked with dirt and grease from her bicycle chain. Maybe, she said, or maybe she had a headache and told me to watch TV for an hour while she went to lay down and take a nap, for golly's sake. You didn't come all the way here by yourself, did you? Nick asked. I wore my helmet, Teeny told him, pointing to the styrofoam door of the Explorer bike helmet hanging from the handlebars of her bike. And I didn't cross until I saw the white walkie man light up. You're too little to be riding around by yourself, said Melody. Besides, you don't belong here. This isn't some silly game we're playing. This is about my life, or what's left of it anyways. I want a dum-dum, said Teeny. How can you think about candy at a time like this? Asked Melody. I want a dum-dum, Teeny said again. She started towards the door, but Melody reached out, snagging her by the back of her tutu this time. Not so fast, she said. I want a dum-dum, insisted Teeny, trying to wiggle free. You're not going inside, Melody told her. None of us are. Teeny turned around and glared at Melody. Why'd you come all the ding-dong way here if you're not even going to go inside, she asked. Don't you want to know about Henry and the love bug anymore? No, said Melody. But I want a dum-dum, Teeny whined. Are you sure you don't want to go inside, Nick asked Melody. I still think you might be wrong about Miss Hogan. How much more proof do you need, she asked him. She's Honey, and not only that, apparently she's marrying my dad. Teeny, still fixated on giving a dum-dum, decided it was time to take matters into her own hands. I'm going in, she announced. There was a loud ripping sound, and Teeny took off running, leaving Melody standing there with her mouth hanging open and what was left of Teeny's pink tutu in her hand.